Hi everybody, my name is Jo and I love to read. Welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be about this fun video series that I'm going to be doing over the next however long until I get bored of it. I'm going to be picking the oldest book added to my wish list, purchase it, read it and vlog the experience, and then decide at the end, was it worth it keeping it on my wish list for that long or not. What I mean by my wish list, as everybody has lots of different definitions about wish list, TBRs, etc. It's not the books that I already own, whether it be physically on my Kindle or on my Audible account. These are books that I have heard of, they sound interesting, and I've decided to add them to my wish list. So my wish list at the moment is stored on the StoryGraph. I got this idea when I was just thinking about how there's so many books. I'm pretty sure it was the last time I was going through my wish list. Actually, I did a video about that about 6 months ago or so. And there's so many books that have been on my wish list for years that I have not picked up. And I just decided, hey, let's do this fun project where I can prioritize one every now and then, buy it, pick it up when I feel like it. So this is not just going to be me reading my wish list and completely forgetting about everything else until the end of time. I'm going to purchase the book, I'm going to read it when I feel like it, and then probably purchase the next one straight away because I'm excited to buy a book, but then it might sit on my TBR for a little bit until I decide to pick the next one up. So I hope that sounds really good to you, and here is the first video of me vlogging my experience of reading the oldest book ever on my wish list.
Hey guys, so this is my super excited, I've just thought about this video idea clip. I really want to see what the first book is that I'm going to purchase. So we're going to do this now, and I'm going to go to my StoryGraph, sort it by when I added it, and then go and purchase the first book on the list. And I'm really excited about this, changing it to earliest added, and The Girl of Fire and Thorns by Rae Carson. Now I'm just going to quickly read the summary and just make sure it is something that I'm going to want to read. Once a century, one person is chosen for greatness. Eliza is the chosen one, but she has always felt powerless, useless. Now, on her 16th birthday, she has become the secret wife of a handsome, oh I like that, secrets, of a handsome and worldly king, a king whose country is in turmoil. A king who needs her to be the chosen one, not a failure of a princess. And he's not the only one who seeks her. Fierce enemies, seething with dark magic, are hunting her. A daring, determined revolutionary thinks she could be his people's savior. Soon it is not just her life, but her very heart that is at stake. Eliza could be everything to those who need her most, if the prophecy is fulfilled. If she finds the power deep within herself, if she doesn't die young. Most of the chosen do. Okay, that sounds good, because it sounds like maybe a hint of like a love triangle. It may be a bit younger than what my current tastes are at the moment, but I'm still happy to give it a chance. And it's like, it's the first book, it's been on my TBR for so damn long. So I mean, it doesn't say when I added it, because this was back in the Goodreads days. I might be able to go into my Goodreads profile and see. I added this on July the 24th, 2014. Oh my god, so it's nearly 10 years I've been wanting to read this book, and now I'm finally going to purchase it, which is super cool. I got it in the mail. I didn't know that I ordered a hardback though. I can't remember, I must have. So let's give her a rip open, right? Martha's just choking on some water over there. You okay? Okay. Yay, it's the cover that I want. Look at it, so pretty. The spine's a little off, but that's okay. Oh my goodness. And if I ever wanted to get rid of this, it's a sticker. So maybe I will, or maybe I'll research. It says William C. Morris debut award finalist, American Library Association. Oh, that's really cool. I don't know when I'm gonna read it. I'm kind of in the middle of heaps of things at the moment, but I'm excited to own it, so yay. So pretty.
Can't believe it. Oh my god, after all these years. Finally. Hey guys, it's the end of September and I have now picked up the Girl of Fire and Thorns. I am going to keep this spoiler free. I'm under no delusions that a lot of people will have read these books that have been sitting on my TBR or my virtual TBR for a very long time. I picked this one up because I had just finally finished a book after stopping and starting a ton of books, and then I decided that I would read a few illustrated things, graphic novels, mangas, etc., comic books, to sort of boost my reading a bit more. And then I was trying to decide what to read next. I'm in the middle of a Game of Thrones too, and I'm actually sort of quite close-ish to the ending. I just was not in the mood for it. I was looking at my shelves and I just went, you know what, I'm not in the mood for the Girl of Fire and Thorns. Like, it didn't jump out at me, but I was like, yeah, this may be the time. I'm so glad I picked it up. I'm having a really great time. I'm not even that far through. I'm up to page 46, so way at the beginning. But I'm having such a great time. Hello, baby. I'm having a really good time with it. The writing style is definitely not super what I'm used to. I don't know if it's like a sign of the times because of how long ago this book was published, or whether it's because I read a lot of high fantasy these days. So it can be a little bit clunky, but here's me saying that as like an author, and I'm probably clunky too, so who's to say. Anyways, the way that Rae Carson has put emotions into this book though completely overrides anything, and I'm not even annoyed at the writing style anymore. It's quite, like, it's easy to read. It's not complicated, it's just a little bit clunky sometimes, and I do struggle with the names. I don't know if this was a trend when this book was published, but it's using really complicated fantasy names, which is really irritating me because Alyssa has been touched by God and she has this God stone, which I'm guessing, I don't know if it has magical powers yet, I'm not really sure. We haven't learned that yet. She's been married off to the king of their neighbouring country. We don't super know why she's thinking it's because of the God stone, because in her head she's thinking, well, how am I worthy otherwise, because I'm not beautiful, talented, smart like my older sister. But she is actually talented, and she is beautiful, because beauty standards are not just skinny. Like, you can be beautiful because you're beautiful inside, that kind of thing. People become beautiful because of their personality, so or become attractive, I suppose, is more of a way to say it. Still learning how to talk about all this stuff, of course. She gets married off to this king, and I was really hoping when I learned his name that they would give him a nickname, and maybe they will, but no joke, his name is Alejandro. Alegandro, and I just think, oh my god, you're making it hard for us. And then her lady in waitings, one is, I think it's Ximena, but it's Ximena, and then one of them is a nurse, I think that's the nurse, but her lady in waiting is Annie Axie, Aneaxie. And even like the names of the countries and some of the more fantasy terms, I'm like, girl, why? You're making it so hard for us to read it, man. And having like a lot of characters with these names, so that's kind of frustrating me a little bit, but I just sort of do the best that I can in my head and then move on. Anyways, I'm having a really great time. I'm really enjoying reading this, and I can't wait to read the entire thing. And hopefully this is actually going to be like maybe a new favorite. I'm not sure, that might be a bit early to be talking about, but it still holds up because Rae Carson will every now and then drop this line about how Alyssa is feeling, and it just like tugs on your heartstrings, or at least on mine. Like, she is so relatable. I think that is the genius of her, that she's so relatable. And her new husband, the king, because they've already been married, you know, straight away in these chapters, he's so nice, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with him? You must either be evil, or they never grow to love each other, they're just friends, or he's gay or something. I don't know. He's way too nice. Straight away my suspicions are on high. So I really hope that he ends up being nice and they fall in love and everything like that. But anyways, so I'm gonna go and play with this child for a bit and then do the dishes. I'm this far. I'm up to 214 and I'm still having a good time with it. The writing style, I wouldn't even call it clunky anymore. I don't know whether I've adjusted to it. It would make more sense to do this so that I have the nice books and I block the bed. Anyways, I wouldn't even call the writing style clunky anymore. I don't know whether I've adjusted to it or Rae Carson's just gotten better at it and she's gone along. This book's split into parts, and when we hit part 2, things took an unexpected turn, which was really cool. But now we've kind of gone in a direction that for me is a bit like, meh. pretty typical of other YA books that I have read before. Not a spoiler for this book, but Alyssa, as the God chosen one with the Godstone in her belly button, she has a task that she's destined to complete, and what it seems like her task is at the moment a military-based fantasy conundrum that they're trying to solve. And I have read a lot of military-based fantasies, and it's just making it a bit like, I don't know, I'm just not in the mood for it, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes in the second half of the book to see whether I actually want to continue with the series or not. And the ultimate question, was it worth it holding on to this book on my wish list for so long? Hey, so I just want to check in before I actually finish this book. I'm up to page 360. I've got about 40 pages to go. I'm pretty sure this is the first vlog update I've done in ages, because I actually had a break to read the Mina Lima edition of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. That was so much fun doing that, but it is nice to be sort of getting back to books. Books that I'd already started because I'm in the middle of like a billion. I was not keen to pick this one up, but I really wanted to get it done because I was halfway through it, and because of this vlog, and because it's a lot smaller than the other ones that I'm in the middle of. But it was actually the best decision to pick this up, because as soon as I started reading it, it was so much fun. So I've been having a really great time. I've read so much of it over this past weekend. I've cried. I won't tell you why, but I cried. So, which is like nice but sad, because I don't want those things to happen that make me cry, but it's also like, oh, it made me feel something. So I wanted to check in because there is a good chance that I'll finish it tonight. Maybe we'll see, but there's only 40 pages left, so if I want to dedicate the rest of my evening to, I probably can, and then I'll be able to tell you guys how I felt. Hey guys, so I've finished, all done. It was actually, it was a little disappointing in the end, but not too bad. It was still, I think it was still worth it, because I guess that is the question. Was it worth it keeping it on my TBR all these years? I think so. I had a really good time. I can talk about one of the things that disappointed me. That's not really going to be a spoiler for the story for those of you who do want to read it. I was really excited to read this one because it actually has a fat main character, and I felt like a kinship with her a lot, especially in the earlier pages, and that was really, really cool. I loved reading from this perspective of main character. What I'm disappointed about, though, is that because of plot reasons, she loses weight. And understandable, and that often happens, and getting healthier is never a bad thing, though we can't judge on how healthy she was because we don't know everything about her life and she's fictional. But what frustrated me is that, and maybe it will tell you in later books, but as a character, I really wanted her to go through this internal arc where she learns that her worth as a person and people liking her and valuing her and appreciating her isn't based on her weight. That didn't really seem to happen. Whether that happens in future books, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to find out, to be honest. Maybe if I'm randomly in the mood for the next one, if I keep the book for that long, not to talk in spoilers, so I'm not mentioning spoilers at all. Another one of my disappointments is it felt like things were totally wrapped up neatly in a bow, but almost too easily. It wasn't satisfying. It felt like too many strings were tied up too quickly, and it felt just not rewarding, not gratifying. And there was one plot line that could have been left like untied a little bit that then could have really motivated me to pick up the next series, but it was just tied up all neatly, too easily, just done because of plot reasons, and that's it. So I really have no reason to continue on with the series, and I feel like if I would almost approach it as if I was reading a new book for the first time instead of with our old familiar characters. This is an interesting result to end on, but I'm so excited to continue to do this project. It's not even a challenge, but I'm just so excited to continue to do these series of videos. I feel like it was fun, a success, and I am definitely going to keep doing doing that. So stay tuned to the end of this video because then I'll put in a little clip of me revealing what the next book is. Thank you guys so much. If you have enjoyed this, let me know. Did you enjoy this? Was it fun to watch and to see? Is it motivating you about your TBR? And let me know, are you going to read the book? Like, I actually had a really, really good time reading it. It feels like a complete standalone with a slightly disappointing ending just because things felt a little bit too easy, a little bit tied up too nicely. And I will say that this is a pretty old book. Like, it was published a fair while ago. And I know myself, when I was looking into trad publishing like 10 years ago, the thing that they talked about a lot is that even if you're planning a series, you should have it the end of the first book tie up neatly so that it could almost be read pretty much as a standalone, so that if the rest of your series doesn't get picked up and doesn't get published, your readers aren't left disappointed. So that is something that, and I feel like, I don't know whether that attitude has changed a bit. I suppose it depends on the book a little bit, but I can definitely see maybe this is why Rae Carson made some of the decisions that she did. Also maybe because it's a pretty hefty book for YA, especially back in those days. So maybe as well, and this is her debut book, so maybe there was a bit of pressure as well in that respect to try and like end things quickly and neatly. So a little bit dissatisfying for me as a reader, but I totally understand. So thank you guys so much for watching my channel. Again, don't forget to like this video if you want to. Comment down below if I'm inspired you to do so. If you want to comment but you don't know what to comment, can you comment some kind of elemental emoji? That'd be cool. And I will check in with, well, not check in, but I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye! Drum roll. It is what I thought it is. The Danish Girl by David Ebershoff.